There we go. Sir, you are free to take over.
So, hello, chefs. I am Marshall Shafkowitz. I'm the executive director of Brightwater Center for the Study of Food, and this year running the culinary and commercial baking for both secondary and post-secondary competitions. Little background about me. I am on the SkillsUSA Culinary Technical Committee. I've been part of Skills Nationals for at this point, I think it's close to 13 years as both a floor judge, lead judge, and the last 4 years on the technical committee, creating the competitions. And, this is a great opportunity for you all to come to Brightwater if you've never been to the school and have the competition here. The real goal for me, for all of you, one is to answer all of your questions that you may have, be as transparent as possible in why the changes that you may see on the competition. Hopefully you've gone to the site and gone through what is already listed on the state website. Keith put up the competition rules for all the secondary competitions. The post-secondary culinary competition will be going up today, and all of the baking formulas will be going up today. My goal, and in talking with Keith and team, was to get you all prepared via the state competition to be prepared for the national competition, as nationals has changed over the last 2-3 years and will have slight nuances coming into this year. I live in Arkansas, and I want to make sure that an Arkansas student has equal footing with everybody else across the country. So instead of going through the competition step by step, unless you want me to, we can. I was going to open it up to questions for all of you.
Okay, my first question is, if we're going by nationals, are the bakers going to have 7 hours?
Yes.
Will it be 7 complete, or will it be, how will that work?
It is, let me bring up, I'm going right to the website. So if you go to the Arkansas State Skills Arkansas, if you have not done that.
No, I already have done that.
You've already done that?
I've already got them all printed off, but I didn't have any recipes.
The recipes, the formulas will be put up today. Is that correct?
Are they the exact same ones they did at Nationals last year?
Slight variation.
Okay.
Just a slight variation, but yes. I worked with Carlton Brooks. Is it Raylene?
Uh-huh.
Do you know Carlton?
No.
So Carlton is the person who runs the national competition. He and I talked about it, and he said your best bet is in preparing everybody for 2023 nationals is to run the 2022 national competition.
Gotcha.
And we're going to stick to that, and it'll be the exact same time frame.
Okay.
And the secondary and post-secondary competition when it comes to baking and pastry is identical. It's been that way for years. We're not changing that, nor is it being changed at the national level either.
Okay.
So students will, you will in the commercial baking side. Sorry, I'm just bringing up the recipes so I can tell you what you'll be making. And again, Keith will be putting all those recipes up. The students will be making honey orange whole wheat bread, puff pastry, orange supremes, pâte à choux, chocolate chip cookies. They'll be decorating a cake, a apple galette. So they'll be making galette dough, the galette filling, a jalapeno cheddar and pepper corn muffin and creme patisserie. That's what was made at nationals last year, and that's where we're going to be getting you to move to this year.
Okay, are you providing the icing and the cakes, or do we have to bring them?
Nope, you will not have to bring anything. And I believe that is a change from the past. Is that correct, Keith?
Well, last year they made our students whip their own icing, and we weren't prepared for.
Nope, so Tara, I'm running the competition a little differently. I'm running it as you're coming to a national competition. And if you're coming to a national competition, you're not going to bring ingredients with you. We're going to have the ingredients here for you. So your students will have to come with their knives, their equipment that they are allowed to bring. So the one thing I do want to make sure you're all aware of, we are going to do an equipment check. So, you don't have to bring your pots, your pans, your personal equipment that the students need, their knives, their microplanes. On each of the competitions, there is a list of what is allowed to come in, and the judges, when they do the equipment check, they're going to go through everything that the students have. If it is not on the approved list, they're not going to let them bring it into the kitchen to use, because that creates unfair advantage for anyone. Okay. And I also, Mr. Thompson, I will get with you in just 1 second, because I want to say this regarding the pots and pans. I don't know what you all have, talking about the baking program. We use induction here. So I have induction pans that are ready to be used. So I don't want you to have to worry about it. Where I know sometimes you get to competitions and you've got an aluminum pan and an induction burner and you're kind of going, I want your students to be able to come in and do their best and perform their best at equal level playing field. So, Mr. Thompson, your question.
Is there going to be a list of ingredients that they're allowed to bring? I didn't see it in none of the packets.
There is no ingredients they're allowed to bring. I'm providing all of the ingredients.
I mean, equipment list, I'm sorry.
The equipment list for culinary is on there. I'm looking at the baking and pastry right now.
It should be in the technical standards.
It is, including, it is in the technical standards, is in one, and then Keith, I'm going to send you the baking and pastry list of what equipment. I just noticed it's not in the document that I put together for all of you.
Okay.
It is on the technical standards of what you can bring, but we'll make sure that a single page list to make it easier for you is up there. That is my fault. I do apologize. I put the rack up, not the the picture of how to set up a rack for all of you for the competition and the sample rubrics, but not the equipment list. Next question.
One more question. So will there be a proofer as far as the equipment that's going to be provided that's already
Yes, there will be most likely, depending on the number of students we have registered, there could be up to 4 proofers in the room.
there? Okay.
For culinary, is it, will they have like, when they break for lunch, will they need to be provided lunch, or will we need to take them lunch, or?
No, I'm actually working on a sponsor to give me lunch,
Okay,
but they will have a place to sit down and have lunch.
okay.
And that is the mandatory 30 minutes for lunch.
Now, I don't remember how long the culinary competition is. I know baking was 7, but I don't remember what the other one was.
And why did I just blank? I think it's,
6,
no, it's not that long.
5.
It's 5 hours.
Okay.
I just blanked. I apologize.
What time are we gonna start that morning?
9 a.m. I believe is what we have the start time.
And
It
then
may
it'll
be
be over,
it may be 8 a.m. It once I talk to Keith and I know how many people are coming, and I'm gonna adjust the timing from that. Earliest we will start is 8 a.m. By 3:45, I would like to be done with judging and critiquing. So if we start at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, that's 7 hours for baking, critiquing done by 3:45. Again, some of it is going to be predicated on the total number of students that are competing. The more there are, that might stretch out a little bit longer. The less, the earliest will be done with critique would be 3:45 to start. Yep.
okay.
Mhm.
What about the test? Are we doing the test? Is it gonna be online, day of, no test?
No, there's no test. You're talking about the skills professional
Mhm.
test. Keith, do you do that at the state level?
We have a PD test that we give, but the reason why that test is given is for a tiebreaker. As long as you're prepared to not have a tiebreaker, then there's no need. We're paying for it anyway. We just suggest that everybody takes it. But
So that and it's interesting. It's done at some states. It's not done at other states.
right,
That's the statesman test, right?
it's
I think
it,
you're required, I think you were talking about the other test, Miss,
I'm
The
talking about
eight-
the culinary test.
right, the culinary
eight-
baking test.
you're talking about the ACF test?
Mhm.
oh,
No, I am not requiring you to do the ACF test. One, I don't believe the state is paying for it. So at the national level, we cover the cost. At the state level, it's up to the states, and I'm not gonna put you through that or put your students through that. So there is a question in the chat regarding cooking wine. Cooking wine will be one of the ingredients that are there.
Cool.
Can they use their own recipes or do they memorize them? And for the appetizer okay, so I'm just going to read the question. Can cooking wine be used for an ingredient? The answer to that is yes, in the culinary competition. Can they use their own recipes? Yes, we're not providing recipes. Okay.
Except for the baking. You have
Except
to
for the
follow
baking.
formula.
The baking one, we've always provided formulas for the baking competition, so that is not changing. For the culinary competition, we're not providing any recipes whatsoever. The student does need to they need to come in and write their menu down. So if you go on to the website and you look at the list of ingredients on there, and I'm almost positive it was part of it, common list of ingredients, it would. Okay. Keith, I'll send you the common list of ingredients for the culinary competition.
okay.
At the secondary level, the post-secondary, it is built directly in to the competition, what the market basket will look like. And they have their recipe. Yes, you can have your recipes there. I'm not. When was the last time any of us memorized a recipe? This is about looking at the skill of the student, Chef Hilton. It's about looking at the skill of the student and are they employable based on the rubrics and the standards. You work in a restaurant, you have recipes in front of you. You work in a hotel, you have recipes in front of you. I don't expect students to memorize 3 to 4 to 5 recipes. I really don't, not on the culinary competition. I know it's been done in the past. I run the competition differently. I believe in realism. So, yes, Chef.
Can they bring their recipe menu already typed? Cause some of them can't write. legally.
Uh, if you are in the secondary level, yes.
Okay,
The post-secondary, probably not, because you're going to look at that market basket and, roughly 1 week prior to, you are going to get what's actually in the basket. So currently, when Keith puts up the secondary competition, there will be 3 different market baskets listed there. For the culinary competition, all the students are getting chicken. So it's kind of easy to come up with the recipes that you're going to use. No, they make the flatbread at the competition. That was a question that popped up. Sorry, Chef Hilton, I didn't respond to that. Yes, Chef.
So you said for the market basket, so I know you're sending out the item list or the approved items.
Mhm.
But for the market basket, that hasn't been posted yet, correct?
No, Keith has it, and will it be up today, Keith?
The post-secondary culinary arts, I believe it's posted now.
It's posted now.
Yeah,
So if
everything else will be posted later.
All right, so if you go to if you click on there, your potential market baskets for post-secondary. Gotta scroll all the way down to the bottom of the document. I apologize. Basket 1 is a 3-pound chicken, pound of shrimp, ounce of salt pork, haricot vert, cauliflower, forest mushrooms, romaine lettuce, parsnips, red potatoes, plum tomatoes. Basket 2, 3-pound chicken. They all have chicken in it. Secondary meat in basket 2 is a pork shank and chicken livers, then snap peas, eggplants, pearl onions, celery root, plum tomatoes, a cup of lentils, and white mushrooms. And mystery basket 3 is chicken, a 4-pound duckling, ground turkey, haricot vert, kale, creminia, mushrooms, zucchini, red potatoes, quinoa, and plum tomatoes. Those are the 3 mystery baskets. 1 week before the competition, I will be sending out which is the basket we are providing, and we're providing the basket. Now, the one thing I do want to make sure that you all understand for the post-secondary competition is what is in the basket for your competitors. They need to utilize what's in the basket. They can use additional items from the pantry, but they do need to use everything that is in the basket in some way, shape, or form. Now, that's for the post-secondary competition. Okay. Chef Thompson, I'm assuming that you're representing a secondary institution.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and that is a little different once we talk about market basket formats. Instead of just, hey, we're giving you the proteins, you can go to the pantry and pull. You actually need to utilize in some way, shape, or form, not all of the amounts, but everything needs to be represented in the courses.
So where is this posted at? I'm on the website for the Arkansas Skills, and I'm under the skills competition updates.
It's not on there.
Okay, so it's not there.
No, I should be able to post it before I go home today at 3:30. So
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I appreciate it.
Yep.
just for clarification, the basket is for post-secondary only?
Yes, in the high school competition, page 2, appetizer, first course, a clear soup, sauteed chicken, and then a braised chicken.
Gotcha.
Okay, on page 2, it tells you basically what the menu is. The creativity side of the student is what's going to make it. The flatbread needs to be part of the first course. as part of the competition. The stock that the students prepare, we will review, but it will not be put in for judging. So a floor judge will come by when the student says their stock is ready, and the floor judge will review the stock for the clear soup and any of the sauces that the students may make. We will have some base, but I'm gonna caution all of you to tell your students not to put any base in their stocks. The floor judges do want to see what they're able to produce in the time frame. Okay. And when you look at the you are just about 6 hours, 15 minutes for the culinary competition, 45 minutes shorter than the baking pastry. Page 5 of 8 on the document shows you potential timelines of what is there. And again, as I know more competitors coming, you know, what the number is, we may adjust these timelines either earlier or latest we will start is 9 a.m. That's the latest we will start, just because I know some of you are probably driving or spending the night and that kind of stuff, and you're going to want some ample time. Yes, sir.
How many mixers will be provided, or is that dependent on the amount of students that's competing
So
for the
let's see.
baking competition?
Okay, thank you. Right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 10-quart mixers and 16 5-quart mixers. There'll be a mixer on each station.
Okay, so
The 10-quart mixers, students may have to share a mixer. We'll change bowls, just because I don't have 16 10-quart mixers. I would love, you know, if you want to donate a couple, I'll take a couple.
Workspace provided. I looked on the website for your school, and I see the baking, what the station looks like. Is there a certain just parameters of where they have to work in?
So if there are only 8 competitors,
Mhm.
they will have a 6-foot space. If they are more than that, we may shorten the space that's there. We've run students through this where they have worked on 4-foot spaces and have the ability to do that. And it's because we have shelving directly underneath for product. It's a great question.
The other
So
question,
if you go onto our website and you go into the tour of our website, I'm seeing if I have the ability to share a screen here. I will show you. Give me 1 second. If I can spell the name of my program correctly to bring up our website. So I'm going to share my screen. Oh, Keith, can you allow me to share my screen? I think if you make me a host, I can share the screen.
You should be able to now.
All right. If you should all see a Brightwater website. If you're here and you go to About and you click on the tours and you scroll to this space here, this is the culinary kitchen. No.
Yeah.
Why did it not move me? This is the culinary kitchen here. I'll move to right to the center island. This will be the space that the students are in. They will either be 1 student per space, 1 student per island, or 2 students per island based on the number of competitors that we have. To fit 16 in this kitchen, if there are 16 competitors to go off at once, each student will have a 4-foot working space with I'm trying to see if I can get you a good spot of, in this island, there are 2 reefer units, reach-in units. There are non-convection, conventional ovens on each island, and a convection oven, and the combi oven will be set to convection in this kitchen. Can I move over to the baking kitchen? Or are
So
there any
question, I have a
Yep.
question. So we have 2 students per island. They'll have to share the oven and well, you don't have burners, but like the induction.
No, so this is the culinary kitchen. There are 4 burners here and there are 4 burners here.
Okay,
So there
so
are
they'll
8
each get
burners.
there.
Plus there is a flat top. They'll have their own. Other questions? Great questions, and please keep them coming. Now looking at the bake shop. So when we talk about what will be on the island, there are individual induction burner units for each area. This area is 4 feet right here. And what we may end up doing on this is moving all of the mixers off of the workstations. So there is a mixing station, just like there would be at different state competitions, as well as at the national competition. There is just a mixing area where students do all their scaling, come over, mix, wash the bowl, put it back for the next student to be able to use, which is what we will probably do. And if we do that, all of the mixers will be along this window here. The students will share the deck ovens just as they would at nationals, and I'm gonna move us over to a better picture so you can see. They will share the convection ovens and the deck ovens for their needs. They're in the room. There is one built-in proofer, but I'll be rolling in a couple of additional proofers as well. But this is a good setup of what you'll see that the stations will look like. And the equipment that the students need that I'll be providing here at the school will be stationed for each student in these 4 cubbies that are here. Questions?
What is a start time for the baking competition?
Earliest we will start is 8. You know, unless it's shared with me that all of the competitors are going to be in the night before, I can start earlier. When we do it, so trying to be, again, cognizant of all of your times. It's a 7-hour competition. If there are only 10 competitors, the secondary and post-secondary, you're going off at the exact same time. We're not going to separate it out unless there is a need to separate it out. We can start as early as 7 a.m. I mean, I can start at 5 a.m. if we really wanted to, but I doubt you want to. Or your students will want to. So I would say the earliest. I know when we do nationals, we usually start the baking competition at 6:30 in the morning. I don't know if that's, again, once I see the total number of registered competitors in each competition, we may adjust from 9 to 7 or to 8 from there and go from there. Again, it's really going to be pushed on the total number of competitors that are coming. Because I want to
So-
be able to give everybody the same amount of time. And if I've got to do a second round, I'd rather start a little bit earlier with round one. So round two, they're going and, we're not here until midnight.
I have a question. So is that 8 o'clock start time, the check-in or the start?
No, that would
time?
actually be start time.
Okay,
Check-in would be 7:30 a.m.
Okay.
Um,
So I was
I
looking at
open-
the what you sent in the,
Yeah,
when
that-
it was posted, it said 8:45 start time, so we'll bump that up to 8
Yeah,
o'clock.
that is it's an example of what the start times would look like. At this point, I'm going to customize it to the total number of competitors that we have. We're given some guidelines at nationals, and we always break those rules. Yes, Chef Hilton, if you need anything, I'm putting my email address in the chat. Please do not hesitate to ask me questions. It's mshafkowitz, try and spell that one, at nwac.edu. So it's mshafkowitz at nwacc.edu. It's in the chat. So if you missed me spelling it, it is there for you. Reach out, ask questions. I have nothing to hide for the competition. I want you all to come in. I want your students to come in and put their best foot forward. This is something that we discuss at the national level all the time, is we want students to show off who they are and have all the information, as much information as possible. Other questions?
Got another one. Is there a viewing area for the family members if they want to come up and watch?
Okay, so here's the great thing about my kitchens. There's one set of glass panes right here. This is a hallway behind my facility. It's a shared use hallway because we're inside the A Street Market in Northwest Arkansas. So there's one spot to view. And then whole wall of windows. There's benches right in front of that. So, and it mirrors the same thing in the culinary kitchen, that your spectators' families will be able to view. And coaches will be able to view. You're not allowed in the room, but you can look through the glass.
Well, the last one I had is, so I know the ingredients are going to be provided. Are we allowed to bring portion cups with labels?
Yes, you can bring portion cups. You can bring PC. You're going to want to bring PCs.
Mhm.
You're just not going to bring any ingredients. That's all.
I have a question about lodging. Where's the closest hotel that you recommend?
There's a lot of them.
A nice
I'm
one.
gonna be honest with you. We're right on the border of Bentonville and Rogers. So if you were to
We're looking at something really nice with a breakfast, swimming pool. I got 2 nights I gotta take these kids,
okay,
something
so
special.
I
do
don't care about
you
swimming.
do you see my search? Do you see a
Yeah.
search window? Okay. Aloft, La Quinta, Avid, they're all within 2.5 miles of the school. And I mean very like straight shot from the hotel. You make one left-hand turn and you drive straight to Brightwater. But if I go on this larger Google search, Keith, would this be something I provide to you to put up on the site?
Yeah, we can put lodging on there.
Okay. Everything that you see, if you put in the school's address, which I will put in our address. I'm going to put it in the chat for you. So our address is in the chat. If you do that as your search, hotels near there, everything that's popping up on my window here is all within 2 to 3 miles of Brightwater. So you have plenty of options at plenty of different price points. If you do something where you're down in this section here, where it says the Promenade Pinnacle, that's a mall area. There's definitely hotels down there. You're going to pay a little bit more money if you're down south of where the school is. If you're near in this section here, this is right off of 49. There are a lot of hotels right in this area. And again, you're no more than 2.5 miles from Brightwater. 5-minute drive. I will tell you, when I bring in guests to visit the school, I generally put them at the La Quinta Inn. One, they have breakfast, they have coffee, they do have a swimming pool. It is, you get what you get when you stay there. It's a bed. It's not the Four Seasons. It's a La Quinta Inn, but I will tell you, they take care of you when you're there. It's a great hotel. If I know a group of you want to do it, I can probably negotiate rates for you there. It's where I put the American Culinary Federation national team. So the Culinary Olympic team, when they come in, that's where they stay. And they stay a week there. They take care of them. They get breakfast. It's a rudimentary hotel. Walking distance to a Starbucks. Couple different restaurants based on what your price points are on restaurants. There's a wonderful poke place down the corner, but there's also a Zaxby's right next door, and a Doc in the Box health clinic in case something really bad happens. Truly right next door. But great question. Other questions, thoughts?
Got one more. Once the products which is for bacon, once the products are done, are they going to be displayed out on their station, or is there a specific spot for them to post the breads and everything else?
Great question. So I have switched screens again. And nope, wrong classroom. The baking products, we will set this room up here that you see me in with tables and the student's number. They will present at that number.
So they'll leave the kitchen area and bring it to another room?
Yeah, it's 10 steps.
Okay.
It truly is. So when let me kind of shift my camera here just a little bit. You see this apple painting?
Uh-huh.
The entryway to the bake shop is right here. So if I scroll up here, you can see the mixers. It's right outside the room. So they will walk out, they will drop their product there, and there will be a judge standing there. who will, the baking and pastry judge, the person that is leading it, his name is Vince Pianalto. If you've competed in Arkansas for a long time, you probably know Chef Vince. He took a bunch of students to nationals for Springdale High School. So he knows the competition. He's competed at the competition in the secondary level. So he knows what your students are going through, what your competitors are going through, and he's going to direct them where they need to go.
Will you provide gloves or do we need to bring our own?
Please bring your own.
Okay.
We will have plastic wrap, aluminum foil, the pots, the pans, the spices, the herbs, the ingredients, but disposables like gloves and portion cups, please bring your own.
Okay, what about when it's all over with? Will they take their product with them? What are you gonna do with it?
That's a great question. And the reason I say that is because I've seen it done, a lot of different things done. If it is okay with all of you, I would actually like to donate the product. That's what I'm traditionally used to doing, bringing it over to Salvation Army or to one of our homeless shelters in the area. That's what we did in Illinois when I ran the Illinois competition, and what we do at nationals is we donate the product to one of the local homeless shelters or Salvation Army. Because we have Good Samaritan laws here in Arkansas, we're allowed to do that. So I would prefer to do that than allow the students to take them home. And a lot of it is, I don't know, and I'm not confident with everybody that it's not going to sit in a car, especially when I'm thinking about some of these cakes, for a 7-hour drive. And I don't really want you, the student, Brightwater, or Keith at the state level for somebody to be held liable for an ingredient that's been out of the temperature danger zone for way too long. Because we can take it after it's been judged. I can get it into a cooler and then the following day get it over to one of our community partners, or even that night have the community partner pick it up. Great question. For
Is there-
culinary,
I'm
so
sorry.
you are aware, I'm going to click to another area. In the culinary space, this wall that is actually open will be the drop spot for hot plates. Okay, so as each course is needs to be delivered, if you have competed at the national level, you probably have seen this in the past. There is a table. The student needs to walk in the box, put it down. There will be a chef that's receiving it, putting their number on it before it goes back to the tasting area. We will also have a display area set up, competitor numbers. They put their menu, one copy of their menu and their plate in that spot. And that way families, you as advisors, can take pictures.
Could we put their menu in like a picture frame if we bring it typed?
You can. They're going to need multiple copies of the menu. Not just the single copy. One goes on the table, the other one goes to the judges.
So they need two at least?
At least two. I would just be safe dealing with students. I make our competitors when they do things like this. And just so you all know, I have nobody from my institution competing. Not at the post-secondary level. Our high school programming, which is not through Brightwater, it's through Bentonville and Bentonville West and Springdale. They may have competitors, but I have no Brightwater, so I have no skin in this game. Just being 100% transparent. I make my competitors, when they're doing this, show up with 5 copies, because 3 of them usually get stains on them as they're reviewing them. So just as a cautionary tale, the coffee cup gets put on it and they don't think about it, or the Coke, the soda or whatever it is, something gets spilled on it while they're thinking about it the night before. I always bring multiple copies.
What about the resume?
Resume single copy is fine, and they just hand that in to me. I will be taking all of the resumes.
Do they need labels for the baking? Like to put in front of their finished product, or?
No.
Understand what I'm asking?
Yeah, I do understand what you're asking. No, so I'm going to say this and hopefully it does not come out mean or harsh. Based on what
You should be able to see what it's supposed to be.
yes, we're providing the formulas, and even when you see the formulas, so I'm going to bring up one of the formulas so you can see how I've presented this to you.
I just didn't know if you wanted them labeled. You know, I know you hope that they're gonna look like what they're supposed to.
You know, yes, you know, I'm gonna hope that they are labeled, but sorry, I need to get to the right. My screens are going a little nuts, so I apologize. I cannot find my folder. I've got too many screens open. Hopefully this will pop open. Sorry.
I've added the baking formulas and the cake order forms to the website currently. So if it's not showing currently, then just hit the refresh button and everybody should be able to see it.
Okay. So do you now all see a formula? Should say apple galette. Okay, as long as you see that, when you scroll down to the second, there is a picture of what we expect. Truly try and make this as transparent and easy to follow as possible. When you go to print these recipes out, when you go to do the formulas for all of your students, they're going to print out on either 2 or 3 pages. Just as an FYI, I've already pre-printed all of them. They print out nice and pretty, and you know, you can come in with them, but the pictures are all there. So Raylene, labels are not necessarily needed as long as the product looks like what is in the picture.
Oh, I understand. I was just making sure because, you know,
Great question.
sometimes you don't ever know.
If you, I'm not going to, and I know Vince or any of the other judges, we are not going to penalize you for putting a label out on a product. But if we cannot tell what the product is, we may come back and ask the competitor, which product is this? We try and do it with as much grace and not embarrassment, but we may have to ask. So as the students are practicing, you may make that decision of whether or not you should bring labels. That's a great question. So you have, and Keith just said he put the recipes and all of that up. So if that's the case, please look at them. Again, ask any questions that you may have. You have my email address. And Keith, please feel free to share that with any of the other advisors who are not able to make the call. And I will send the ingredient list, the standard pantry ingredient list. Mr. Thompson, for you at the post-secondary level, that market basket, really look at that market basket. Depending on my conversation with Keith, we may send it out greater than a week. Typically we only send it out 1 week prior. But you have 3 plans, you have 3 market baskets, you're able to create 3 different plans through that. And again, we're looking at what the skill level of that post-secondary student is, and market baskets. And I'm not sure where you are in the state. Here, when any of my students are going for interviews, they're generally given a market basket and they don't know what's in it until they show up for that actual portion of a job. And our assumption, and I will say that word, is that the students or post-secondary students should be able to go in and really produce based on anything that's put in front of them.
Okay, one final question. They need to wear their chef's coats, the SkillsUSA chef coats. Are you providing hair nets, hats? Do we all need to wear that? But
I will have hairnets and I will have paper chef toques. But wear your school uniform. All right. If your school uniform is black, wear your black chef coat. If you have logos on your uniforms, so Keith, do you provide state uniforms for the skills competitors?
No, we
Okay.
don't. We don't.
we have SkillsUSA chef coats. Because that's what National says. So can they wear those? I mean,
Yes, they
that's
can.
what I purchased them for.
No, yes, they can. And Raylene, here's, and maybe I'm different than the last people who ran this. I understand that everybody has budgetary challenges,
Mhm.
and not everybody has the ability to that you have. That's just the truth. What will end up happening is I'm going to have these big, beautiful stickers. So if you have a SkillsUSA chef coat, awesome. If your school uniform has a logo on it, I'm going to cover that and we're going to put a big number on it.
Okay,
And your skills uniform, I'm going to put a big number on it. And on the chef hats, the toques, there's going to be a number on it for each competitor. Right, just to try and level the playing field. If people don't have the budget or are not pushing their students to purchase their own plain white chef coats,
are you still gonna look at the black or checkered pants and shoes and all that?
it's black or checkered pants, non-slip shoes, leather like. Okay,
Gotcha.
if somebody walks in with the Skechers waterproof kitchen shoe, they are kitchen approved shoes. The technical standard does say black leather like.
Gotcha.
Okay. So if those Skechers, and I say this just because I've seen it, the
Mhm.
students walk in wearing black Skechers, leather like waterproof sneakers, I'm not gonna nail them. But if they come in wearing a pair of Uggs, we're going to have a problem. Or they walk in with a pair of Crocs that have holes all through them. It's those are safety concerns.
Right.
Tara, you looked like you had a question.
I do. My students have short sleeve uniforms because I just don't like to deal with their sleeves in our lab. Is that okay, or do I need to?
If that's your school uniform, that is your school uniform. Here's what I am going to say to you. If you go to nationals.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Okay. Yeah. Short sleeve. 90% of the time I wear short sleeves. So not an issue. If you saw me walking around last year at nationals, I put all the judges, because it was me who suckered them all into short sleeve chef coats. All of the judges wore short sleeve chef coats for the nationals. So if your school uniform is that, I'm not going to push you to do that again. I was in your secondary shoes. If you're a secondary school teacher, I was there. I understand budget constraints. So your school issued uniform, checks or black pants, leather-like, non-slip shoes. They do not need to be steel-toed. Not at all, just leather-like. Okay, striped pants, not going to fly. Blue pants, not going to fly. But black and white checks, black pants. I'll provide the toque and the hairnets, and a big, lovely sticker with a number on it.
What about dish towels? Do we need to bring our own, or will those be provided?
Bring your own.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, drying rags we have, but dish towels, that even at the national level, if you come in with a towel, you're coming in with your own towels. We've never provided those. Again, I'm running this like a national competition because I want all of you prepared, whoever wins, to go to nationals and win. That's the ultimate.
It's not easy.
So here's the thing.
We did two last year. It's not easy.
No, but it's not. You're going up against the best of everyone in their states. What I'm going to say to you to share with your students, and I will say this when they're here. Don't try anything fancy. Do what's asked of you. Cook simple, excellently seasoned and cooked to perfection food. Not expecting people to give me what a CMC would do. You know, you're all sitting here. You notice I don't put any of my credentials on my jacket. All right. And I do that for a reason. I want students to cook me excellent food. And that's what we're asking. Simple, excellent, executed food. Practice, practice, practice. The best chicken is moist and cooked correctly at 165 degrees, because medium rare chicken is not something accepted in the United States yet. It's a competition, but I also want the students to remember that this is their chosen profession and they're going to do excellent jobs. But simple, perfectly executed food is what we're looking for. Culinary and/or baking.
Okay. It's on a Friday,
Yes, ma'am.
April
7th.
Okay.
Friday, April 7th. And I do apologize. I have 1 minute left because I have another meeting I have to go to, and I apologize. But you all have my email address. Keith will share my email address with everybody. Please ask questions. All the information is here for you and here for you to be shared. Here to be shared with you.
Thank you for answering all my questions. Like I said, my other cohort is on the road. So, but thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Anything you need. And again, additional questions. What I ask is that you send them to me, but you copy Keith. So he is kept in awares of what questions are being asked. Or as I respond, just know that I will be copying Keith into the responses. Right. Thank you, everyone. I wish you all the best of luck. I'll see you in 6-8 weeks, something like that. At
Close.
This point,
It's getting close.
it is getting close. So look for either later today or Monday that the ingredient list will be up.
And the equipment list?
And the equipment list. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. They will all be up. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I
Thank you.
appreciate